What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here again for the third time in a day. Wow. Just wow. Who is my football club? What is my football club? What is going on, people? What is going on?
What are we witnessing? What are we witnessing?
This is greatness in the transfer window. Let's just get straight into it. You guys already know why you're here, and excitement is to the max. David Ornstein, Tottenham reach agreement with Newcastle United to sign Sandro Tonali, deal for 26-year-old Italian international to join Tottenham Hotspur from Newcastle, 92.5 million plus 7.5 million in potential add-ons based on multiple Champions League qualifications. Fabrizio Romano, Tottenham agree a record deal to sign Sandro Tonali from Newcastle. Here we go. Agreement between clubs closed, and also on the player side with the Italian midfielder, fee higher than the 85 million paid for Matheus Fernandes. Matteo Moretto, Tottenham breaks through the €100 million barrier for Sandro Tonali between fixed fee and bonuses. The London club has always been at the forefront of the race for the Italian midfielder, who strongly wanted the Spurs despite competition from Manchester City. Roberto De Zerbi was key. Himothy, as revealed earlier this morning, Spurs were very close to landing Tonali. Afternoon, I posted Sandro Tonali is Lily White. Fabrizio and Ornstein have now confirmed Spurs have got their double pivot. Spurs have got their men. In the last 24 hours, we have confirmed, well, all but confirmed, Matheus Fernandes for 85 million. Sandro Tonali for 92.5 million plus 7.5 million add-ons. What the fuck is going on, Sim? What the
that transfer record lasted long, didn't it? That lasted long. Not even 24 hours. We've gone and broken it again. Absolute insanity. We have really put our balls on the table in this transfer window. We have gone and taken Sandro Tonali from Newcastle, who are a team who want to be competing with us, who see us as their, competitors going into the near season. This is a team who recently got taken over by, those Saudi billionaires, and they were looking to take over the whole Premier League. And we have just come and got one of their best players and through the door for a monstrous fee, 92.5 million. I mean, if there was any doubt about how serious Tottenham and the Lewis family are this summer, I think the last 2 days, have shed any doubt for anyone onlooking, anyone wondering what the hell is going on. Spurs are finally using their financial muscle, and we are not just going for small players. We are going for big fish up against big teams, up against teams who in any usual season would blow us out of the water. And yet we're coming with massive fees that no one could ignore. And not only that, we've got De Zerbi in these players' ears telling them, don't go to Man City, don't go to Manchester United. Come to Tottenham. This is where the project is. This is where it's at. And these players are believing every word he is saying. Apparently, there was a lot of journalists now saying there was interest from Man City, as SZY and Himothy have been saying before. There was interest from City, but Tonali told Man City he wants to come to Tottenham. He's interested in the Tottenham project, and I can't quite believe how we've convinced him. No one is more negative about Spurs than Tottenham fans. No one can not believe this more than Tottenham fans, trust me. So the fact that we can't even, the fact that these players have been convinced to come to Tottenham in this current climate and this current time, where given the shit show we have been over the last couple of years, it's taken one hell of a convincing. Yet we have got the job done. We've got it over the line, but that's only half the job, isn't it? You've got to convince the player, and you've got to put the money down on the table and invest very, very heavily. And we're not mincing our words here. We're not fucking around. We're saying you get 100 million. All right, we'll do it. 85 million, we'll do it. 52 million, we'll do it. We are paying the fees. We are getting the players over the line. We are upgrading this team, and we are serious this summer. We are absolutely serious this summer.
Bro, I feel like I'm living in some sort of alternate universe. In what universe, in 24 hours, did Tottenham spend 177.5 million plus 7.5 million in add-ons? What is this? Like, seriously, we're living in some sort of alternate universe. This ain't real life. I feel like I'm just going to wake up and this is all just going to be like some incredible dream. Like, seriously, have we just spent 177.5 million cash up front on two players?
We were speaking at the beginning of the window, weren't we? Will Tottenham, bid these kind of fees for these players? I said, we'll probably bid it. We'll probably won't get it over the line. We probably will be unsuccessful. But here we are. We've somehow, I never in a million years at the beginning of this window thought we could convince a player like Sandro Tonali to come to Tottenham. Matheus Fernandes may be a bit different, but so even with Man United, in for him, I thought no chance he'll choose us over United. But it's definitely Tonali. I was like, be shocked if someone like him would be interested in coming to Tottenham right now with the clubs that should be lined up to get his signature, and also being a club like Newcastle, who are a fairly a pretty big team and a good team, and he's done really well there. So I am absolutely shocked that we've able to get these two deals over the line. I could not be more delighted. What a double pivot we are going to have next season with Tonali and Matheus Fernandes at the base of our midfield. That is going to take some stopping. It not only increases our physicality in there, the legs we got in there, but the technical quality is going up tenfold in that midfield. It's all of a sudden going to be able to we're going to actually see midfielders pass the ball now. It's been so long since we've had midfielders who can control a game with the ball. We're going to be so much better in possession, and I can't wait for what De Zerbi has in store for these players in his mind, because I feel like De Zerbi, he said, didn't he, at the back end of last season, he's got a vision of what he wants his team to look like. Obviously, it's all about whether the investment, all this kind of stuff. But he was asked, do you have any idea what kind of team you want, what kind of players you want in each position? And he says, I've got a very clear idea, but it's all about collaborating, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. So he's had a very clear vision of how he sees these players coming into this team. And I think you can have your obviously people are very, very excited about these players, but there are some people who have their doubts about this player, that player, his flaws and stuff. But what I'm so excited about is these are both De Zerbi's first choice picks. These are the players he wanted as number one choices in those positions. Those are the players that he earmarked as these would be perfect. If I can get that guy and I can get that guy, that could really, I can start envisioning what my team's going to look like and how my team's going to play. And we've gone and got both of them, both first choice. And we haven't cared about the fee. We haven't cared about the wages. We haven't cared about who's going in for him. We've just said, we'll take him, and we're going to back this manager, and we're going to give him all the tools to succeed. And it's absolutely incredible, absolutely amazing. And a lot of people in the comments are mentioning it now. Carshire back a week ago, Simon Jordan rubbishing this report saying, oh, Tonali is obviously using Tottenham as a way to get Man City and Arsenal involved. Obviously, he's not going to go to Tottenham. Obviously, he's just using Spurs. Well, you can do one, Simon Jordan. You and Daniel Levy, all your mates. You can all have a chuckle. I'm sure you're going to go on TalkSport tomorrow. Oh, Newcastle have had their pants down. Newcastle have taken them for a ride. Newcastle got the fee they wanted. But you know what? We're going to have a double pivot of Fernandes and Tonali next season, and that's going to take some beating.
Simon Jordan is one of the most bitter people I've ever seen, ever since Daniel Levy lost his job at Tottenham. He really is. Doesn't take him a second to try and put Spurs down and try rubbish Spurs and try rubbish everything that Spurs are trying to do. Simon Jordan is an absolute see you next Tuesday. I'm telling you that ever since Daniel Levy has left Spurs. All he wants to do is try and protect his mate, which is Daniel Levy, and protect the legacy or the job that he did at Tottenham Hotspur. Well, the Lewis family have come in, and within less than a year, they've blown down any sort of Daniel Levy transfer window out the water straight away. First window of asking. So I gotta say, massive big up to the Lewis family. You gotta say that for what they've done. This is unheard of, unseen. It is just mental. My mind is just blown to this transfer window so far. And we ain't done yet, people. We ain't done yet. There's still more business to come.
Well, we've always said with the Lewis family and whatever, we've just got to see it to believe it. And then when January happened, we didn't see anything, and you think, God, is this just going to continuation of what we've seen before and how we've been dealing with transfer windows? And you know what as well? What is so great about this transfer window, on top of being willing to invest and putting the money down and going after our targets, we have been so proactive in this window. How many times have we said going into windows, we need to be proactive. We need to know our hard targets ahead of time. We can't be reacting to the window, waiting for all the big clubs to make their moves, and then we react to it and see what happens, and waiting for opportunities and doing all this kind of stuff. We are always so reactive. Yet this window, I've never seen any team be as proactive as this, let alone Tottenham. It's very rare for any Premier League team, no matter how big, to be this proactive. 6 signings now, it looks like, by the 1st of July, wrapped up and ready to go, going to be ready for pre-season. And obviously, we still got to fix that forward line, which is obviously probably the main area we've got to fix. There's a lot to do, but the proactivity, it gives me hope that they've got a plan in place for what they want already in the forward line. They know who they're going to go for. They know their targets. And what also gives me confidence, we know our targets, and we're probably willing to pay what it takes to bring them in, because we've just done that twice.
How many 100%, but how many managers over the years under Daniel Levy have we heard it comes to the end of the season saying, oh yeah, we've been in meetings for transfers and drawing up our transfer list for ages. We've been planning this for ages. Then the transfer window comes and you hear absolutely nothing. Yeah. Nothing comes out, and then it's just opportunities this, opportunities that, opportunities this. De Zerbi literally said the day the season finished, he said, there's no time to celebrate. We'll celebrate tonight. Tomorrow, we start planning where we want to be next season. And we're already seeing it in fruition. On the 1st of July, 6 signings in. They have actually had a plan and they've actually executed it. That's never happened before. Every other window, it's all opportunistic signings. This is not opportunistic signings, what we're seeing right now. This is targeted signings with precision, putting balls on the line and blowing other teams out of the water. This is unheard of, what we're seeing right now at Tottenham Hotspur.
And these are signings, especially the Tonali one, is from teams who you would expect a lot of resistance from. You'd expect them not really to want to sell to you. You expect it to be a pretty hard deal to do. Obviously, we have given a shitload of money. Don't get me wrong, it's 92.5 million. We've obviously smashed our transfer record, and it is a fee which I'm sure Newcastle are pretty happy to get. But what my point is, we usually go and sign players from teams, who were smaller than us, who we know want to do business, want to take the money, or sign a player with a year left on his deal, that kind of stuff. Opportunistic signings where we know the selling club, there is some willingness there. But with Tonali, this represents going to a team who want to be our rivals. They, I'm sure, at the beginning of the window, we're not planning to sell Tonali to Tottenham this window. I don't know if they were planning to sell him at all, but they weren't. They probably that was not on their shopping list to sell Tonali to Spurs. And yet we have gone and beaten competition to go and get him over the line. And that is just not, I can't remember. We've never done that. We've never done that.
No,
gone to a Premier League rival who was supposed to be on our level and gone and take one of their better players, not a player they want to discard because he's out of favour. One of their main players who they rely on, who they're counting on for next season. We've gone and said we'll have him. We've got the money to get him, and we're going to bring him in.
If I was a Newcastle fan right now, I would be absolutely fuming. Not only have we lost our best left winger, not only have we lost Sandro Tonali, it's very likely Bruno Guimaraes is going to Arsenal now, apparently. I don't know if you've seen the reports over the last hour. They're saying 65 million, apparently, and a deal's done. Can you imagine losing they are literally their 3 best players. Newcastle. After this whole Saudi takeover and all the building that they did, what they're going to do, just throw it down the drain in one summer transfer window. If I was Eddie Howe, I would walk. I would literally walk out the door.
I'm assuming they're promising him a splurge, or a bit like last summer, but 100%. They've built quite a good team there, and the project seems to have come to an end in that sense of all that cycle. And I'm sure I agree with you. Unless Eddie Howe has the full kind of backing or confidence from the board that he's going to get another project, to build another team, and that might take another year or so, then I think it might be in his interest to to go for a new challenge, because they've ripped up his whole team if Bruno and Tonali both leave. But look, not enough about Newcastle. In terms of what I'm saying about getting Tonali in, and for it, what I said before about him being De Zerbi's first targets, like what we've seen Fernandes and Tonali obviously at their clubs, and they're very good players. But what I'm really excited about is what De Zerbi's going to do with them, because he clearly has a plan for them. So I'm so interested, because I don't think he's going to play necessarily. They're going to play exactly how they did at Newcastle and at West Ham. He's going to have certain roles for them. As I've said before, he's such a brilliant tactician, De Zerbi, and there's great profiling of players. So he might think, look, he's doing this for Newcastle. If I get him, I can get him doing this role. I can get him doing something else. Maybe he sees something in these players that the other managers don't. And we know, what we do know is they're high quality players who have proven in the Premier League that they can be one of the two of the outstanding midfielders over the last couple of years. So they've shown that. But I really am intrigued to see what kind of role we are going to see from them under Roberto De Zerbi and what he's cooking up in his tactics room, because I don't know if he even kind of could have dreamed that he was going to get these two so early on and get his first joint targets. But here we are. Well, here we are on July the 1st, and we're going to be seeing a double pivot of Tonali and Fernandes, and it's just incredible.
Yeah, look, there's been a lot of that said that the negotiating has been down to Rafi Mawson and Vinay Venkatesham. With all the shit that we've been giving Vinay over the course of last year, I think it's only right to give him his props as well, as part of the negotiation team that's getting these deals over the line. So massive props to Vinay Venkatesham as well. You've got to say that.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of a role Johan's had in it, but look, props to the whole team at the moment for getting these deals over the line and surprising everyone, because they've had a lot of criticism, and rightfully so, deserved criticism. I'm not apologizing for the criticism that has been received, and their job should have definitely been on the line, and probably should have lost their job. They're lucky to still have their jobs, no doubt about it. But coming into this summer, clearly, we've been looking at sporting directors, whatever, and for one reason or another, we haven't been able to get anyone over the line. And it looks like we've continued to work, and I think maybe they've all known that they're working under serious pressure, that they need to show results now. We can't just they can't have another summer or another transfer window as much of a catastrophic failure as the last one. So they've clearly been under pressure, but they've delivered so far. In this first month or whatever, since the season's ended, they've absolutely delivered on getting these first choice targets for their manager and shown that they're willing to back him, and not just back him with profiles, back him with his first choices, which is so rare. So yeah, massive credit to them. Obviously, a long way to go in this window. I'm not saying even if the rest of the window doesn't go as we want, it doesn't mean these signings are bad or anything. Obviously, these are phenomenal signings, but obviously we need a major surgery still in that front line. And yeah, look, we've needed a whole new team pretty much, and we're well on our way there.
But we're so used to being fed lies from the ownership at this football club. But they have said something, and they've backed it up, and they've delivered on top signings. And they said they were going to break the wage structure. The wage structure is broken, and by some distance, by the way. Apparently, Sandro Tonali, he's got a contract until 2032. He's going to be earning 250 grand a week. And if we make Champions League, he's going to be on 275 grand a week or 280 grand a week. So they really are following through on the promises they have been making to the fans since the back end of last season. Yeah. It is just unbelievable. Never in a million years did I think. I mean, I thought we'd sign players this window, but I didn't think it would be like this. I didn't think in the space of a 2 day or space of 24 hours, we'll be breaking our transfer record twice, and with more to come. I love the way that they've done it as well. I mean, smart free transfers in the window as well. Van Hecker through the door, defense sorted. Now the midfield sorted, and now it's just one area of the pitch to focus on from now until the start of the season, which is just phenomenal. How many more do you reckon we bring in?
I think the plan would probably be to bring another 3.
Yeah.
But whether we do that or not, we'll see. But I think, look, at the moment, we're sticking to the plan. I think the plan was to get 2 midfielders, and we couldn't have got 2 better midfielders, I don't think. I mean, who could we? I don't think we could have got 2 better midfielders, could we? Like, honestly, we just really couldn't in the whole of the footballing world. I don't think were able to bring in 2 better midfielders than we have brought in. I think it's just phenomenal. And so who knows what they've got cooking up in the forward line. I'm really intrigued to see. But yeah, I mean, just to stick on back on Tonali, I can't wait to see him in a Tottenham shirt. I think he's such a silky player. I think he's got unbelievable and unbelievable engine, but he's got unbelievable technical ability, great passing abilities. He's got a good long shot on him as well. I think I've got a feeling he's got more to give even than what he showed at Newcastle as well. I think Newcastle, the way they play, then they're more of a kind of intense, like aggressive transitional team. But under Spurs, he's going to have a lot more of the ball, a lot more touches, and being able to maybe use a bit more of his passing ability than maybe he was at Newcastle. I think he's got that in his locker. And I think him and Fernandes are going to complement each other so well. I can't wait to see what he's going to give in a Tottenham shirt. And I think all of a sudden you're looking at a team and like teams aren't going to want to come up against that midfield. I really think that's going to be a scary sight for a lot of teams.
I'm starting to dream big for next season, Sim. I really am starting to dream big for next season. 1 game a week with this team and De Zerbi. Are you joking me? With more to come in the forward line. By the way, SZY has just tweeted out saying more to come, I promise. More to come.
You know what? Another shout out needs again to these ITKs because they've just been ahead of the game throughout the whole, on both these deals. Throughout the whole summer, really, they have just been ahead of the game when it comes to our transfer window. They've been ahead of Ornstein, ahead of Romano. They've been saying it, and I understand there's always a dose of skepticism when it comes to ITKs and faceless accounts on Twitter, and you always have to be a bit wary. But you just got to call a spade a spade. They've been absolutely spot on everything they've been saying. They've called things to a T. Whenever they've been definitive, they've been absolutely spot on. Props to SZY, props to Spurs Journo, props to Himothy. All absolutely phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, we know Himothy's been on, and I'm sure he'll come on at some point soon. But guys, get in SZY's comments, get in Heard from Spurs comments, get them to come on. It's enough of these faceless accounts. Let's put a face to these legends. Let's put a face to these legends and let's get them on the show and drop even more exclusive and talk through about the next steps in Spurs' transfer window, guys. Who wants to hear from SZY and Heard from Spurs? Because I most definitely do. I would absolutely love to have them here on the channel. Just a quick note, SZY has also said that Fernandes has completed his medical now at Tottenham, which is fantastic. And Heard from Spurs has said, keep an eye on Savinho, steam to pick up now. There are other names, but this is the one I would focus on for now. So Savinho next on the hit list, apparently.
Maybe we'll hear about it tomorrow. Maybe we're going to hear about it tomorrow. I wouldn't bet against it. Tottenham are moving mad in this window. It's something crazy is going on. This is not the club that we know and love. Something has massively changed, and we are seeing things we've just never ever seen before or expect. Someone says 3-3. Why not? Why not? Because the way we're moving, I wouldn't bet against any news coming out over the next few days about other players. And we spoke about a few weeks ago Osimhen and all that stuff and how ridiculous that might sound. Why not? They're putting the money down. We've never seen the like of this kind of money. We've never seen it. So who knows? Maybe we are going to go bigger than anyone thinks in these positions. Who knows what they've got cooking up? And what we do know is
Junior Krupi, man. Bring me Junior Krupi.
And what I'm sure is whoever we go through next, I'm certain that these guys are going to be De Zerbi's first choices. And doesn't mean we're going to get them. I'm just saying the names we're going to hear, I'm certain we're going to go for the people that De Zerbi is earmarking. And that gives me so much confidence.
Is awakening. The sleeping giant is awakening in N17. I'm telling you, people. I am telling you. This is a new dawn for Tottenham Hotspur. And things are looking rosy right now. If we carry on in the manner that we're going in, we are going to be one of the biggest clubs in this Premier League for the coming seasons. I'm telling you, this is really a new dawn. I can't believe I'm saying it. You said this isn't the club we know and love. This is the club that we don't know and love. You know what I mean? And love even better than ever before. It is unbelievable. I cannot wait for the next few weeks to see what it brings. Such excitement
Wouldn't
around
be
this
more
football.
excited. Yeah.
Such excitement. We
Same.
kept saying it's the illusion of a big club. You walk in those doors, you see the stadium, you see the training ground, you see all the facilities. You're just like, wow, you must be walking into a big club. But now you look at the transfer business as well, and it backs it up. It backs it up. And very soon, you're going to be seeing it backed up on a football pitch as well, where it matters the most. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's the only word for it. Can't believe it. Just cannot.
Oh, I mean, when we heard about these double deals, you would definitely were thinking it's either it's going to be one or the other. We're not going to get both of them,
I
surely.
thought for sure one of them's going to screw up, for sure.
Yeah, one of them's or when we do what we do sometimes, which is we put two names out there, and then one mysteriously falls through because we're only actually ever really in to go for one. We're never going to actually sign both, but. They said it from the start. Tonali was always on top of Fernandez, and we're sitting here with both deals agreed. It's just absolute insanity, And all of a sudden, next season, I think all Tottenham fans are don't know what exactly to hope for now, like what to dream, because who would have thought we would be getting these kind of players in this transfer window? Who would have thought? I can't wait.
After what we've seen so far and the money that we spent, no dream is too high, man. No dream is too high. Let's put our balls on the line, get a Krupi in. Let's get a Nusa in, get a Savinho in as well. If we finish off the window, Savinho, Nusa, and a Krupi, that is literally the perfect window, isn't it? There's no better window than that.
That would be the window from heaven.
Literally.
Well, no, yeah, Krupi's the next little name on the list, isn't he? And he's, if we put the money down, I'm sure we can get him. I really believe that.
I cannot believe
always a stumbling block's always been, we're never going to pay that. We're never going to pay what it's actually going to take to bring him in. But we're showing that we will. We actually are willing to.
Struggle. I thought Newcastle would flat out refuse to sell to us. They were like, why would we sell one of our best players to a team that, in their opinion, is worse than them? Like, why? This must be such a dagger to the heart to Newcastle fans, where Tottenham are taking one of Newcastle's best players.
But I think from the club's point of view, they've just had this fine, haven't they? And they've, they obviously don't have the revenues that Tottenham do, so they need to make up the money somewhere else to catch up on the revenue. And it looks like it's selling the club.
Last year for however much they sold Isaac for. They sold Gordon for 70 million. Now Tonali, and now they're going to sell apparently Guimaraes as well for 65, 70 million. I mean, surely they should be shitting out money with
well, they spent a hell of a lot last summer.
The amount they're selling.
They spent a hell of a lot. They sold Isaac, but they spent a lot on Voltemada, but most of it went on Voltemada, 70 million. Then basically it all went on Voltemada and Wissa. Yeah. So, and after that they signed Ramsey for like 45 million or something. They signed Elanga for 50 million. They signed, who else they signed? Tiao, he was like 40 million. Ramsdale was, I don't know, another 20 million maybe. So they spent a hell of a lot of money. They have spent a hell of a lot of money. So they don't have the revenues, and they were in Europe, so they're beholden to the European PSL, which is even more stringent. So they need money clearly, and they've just been fined. So clearly they need more funds, but we're not in that. We don't have that predicament because of our revenues. That's just the difference.
Well, like I said, it's a new dawn. It's a new day.